guys. So, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I have a new webcam that I picked up. Really cheap one. I hope that the sound is coming through. If you could do me a favor, let me know how the audio quality is. I don't expect it to be as good as it was on the laptop, but I do expect everything else to run smoother because now I can do everything off of my desktop. So without further ado, we are here for the paint booth preview. I have everything. Okay, I got everything set to slow, and I took the I cut the music down. So it's a very short 35-second clip. Let's take a look at it. Man, even in slow motion, it moves fast. Wow. You can tell this. All right, let's go back a little bit. I'll try to just pause it as we go along because I hate that it's like somebody is on crack when they're editing these videos. It's like, how fast can I do these jump cuts, and let's splice it down to a tenth of a second, and just, it's like it makes you feel like you're on drugs. I really like what I'm seeing with the paint booth. It really reminds me a lot of the Eutechnics paint booth, which was the one thing they did that was really good. So yeah, a lot of it does remind me of it. So let's take a look. You can see here they're going through all the the numbers of the right size. They have style here, so I guess you could change the number font. And look, the outline thickness, you could change that. I love little details like that because it makes a big difference. Look at it as they look at that. You could see as they man, this thing is so fast. I hate that. But you could see as they thicken the outline and make it thinner, it changes the look of the car by a lot. Oh, this really reminds me right here of Eutechnics. And yeah, these are some weird shapes, but what's cool about it is you can take them, you can stretch them, you can just take a piece of it. You got sponsor logos, shapes, stripes. I love it. Man, this thing moves so fast. And I got it on the slowest setting. Yeah, see, he stretched out that little design. Now here you got size, spin, skew, opacity, color. There's a lot of options. Yeah, see? And see, you could change the size, the skew, you could twist it, stretch it. So if there's a part of a design that you like, you can like emphasize it. This looks so much like the Eutechnics paint booth, and that's a good thing. Width, height, you can get really specific. Yeah, this is a lot like the Eutechnics paint booth. Come on. Why? I want to, whoever is editing these videos, I would give them a drug test. I guarantee you, this guy's on something. I would give him a random drug test. Lots of colors to choose from, different shades, and I love the way you could stretch it out. That looks almost like the Puma stripe on the sneaker. The editing, it really bothers me. Decals. Yeah, I gotta do this like frame by frame if I can. Internet batteries, Bass Pro Shops. Fuck. I can't spend all day trying to capture every decal. And look at it. There's lots of options. And they're only going to add as they go. So, yeah, I have no complaints. And I like it that you can move things around and it goes behind the number so you don't have to try to worry about like how am I going to place this? It's automatic. You could change the size. That makes such a difference. Basically, they're just showing you that you have all kinds of options. And if you have time and imagination, I can only imagine the schemes people are going to come up with. So it really is just a thing about how much time are you willing to spend in the booth. It's not for everybody. For me personally, I spent a lot of time in the Eutechnics paint booth. I had a lot of fun with it. I know that a lot of you guys are thinking right now, this isn't the most important thing. I want more gameplay. I want more of this. I'm with you. But right now, this is about the paint booth, and we finally have customization and to a level that we've been waiting for and asking for. I like this. This is cool, and they can come up with a lot more stuff. Yeah, this guy just plastered a million different logos, but they just want to show you what you can do. I got no complaints. It looks good, and that's all we've ever wanted is options. Let us, have more options. And I can't wait to see how they go with the next gen car and moving the number forward, which I like, by the way. So yeah, okay, it's super edited, 35-second clip, but I like what I see. I think anybody who's been waiting for a paint booth should be happy with this. I got nothing to complain about here. So before I sign off, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Yes, it's 2 weeks to go before we get the game. And we really don't have a lot of information other than what we were told from the beginning. But there hasn't been anything new. Um, and I understand why people are worried about the lack of like gameplay. I was expecting that they would show us a lot more by now. And I don't think they're going to show anything else. I think anything else that they were going to reveal, they would have done it by now. And the thing that frustrates me the most, see, I know coming in to expect a bare bones game, right? I know it's not going to have a lot of stuff that we want. It's the first game. I'm actually pretty pleased with most of what I've seen. But I do understand there are certain questions that they really should have by now either answered or given us a little bit more insight. Um, we saw in a tweet that they said they were working on implementing private lobbies for the online multiplayer, but it hasn't been confirmed. This was a tweet that somebody sent me, and then I looked at it. Somebody from somewhere told somebody they're working on it. And if they can't get it in the game by release, maybe afterwards through a patch, I don't know. But it was never really officially confirmed by anybody at Motorsport Games. And this is what I hate about the way they do things with social media. There isn't that one place anybody can go and just get all their information and or have that communication with Motorsport Games. It's like you got to play detective and go to Twitter or go to Facebook or go to the website, and it's all over the place. And a lot of information I get from somebody sending it to me in my comment section or on Twitter, like, hey, look what's, like, even this video. It just popped up. Somebody sent me a link and they said, hey, it's out. I wasn't even expecting this. This is good stuff, okay? But I'm just talking about overall the way they've handled the marketing. And in the beginning, I gave those guys credit. They got people excited. And I just thought, I think the big mistake with Motorsport Games right now is that they've dropped the ball. They got us on the hook. They got us excited. But then they just kind of let us hang there. And they're like, okay, pre-order, please. People don't like this constant, hey, pre-order, pre-order, pre-order. And they're like, I haven't seen enough of the AI. I haven't seen enough gameplay. Most of what we've seen is Daytona, Talladega, which are the same fucking track, basically. And we got that one lap at the Charlotte Roval, which I enjoyed. I thought it was good, but we need more. And I was also thinking by now that we would be hearing word that maybe somebody like a Jeff Fabiano or a real Radman would be getting an early copy and maybe showing us some of the game, like we've seen the past couple of years with 704. I don't know. I mean, there was a rumor that, yeah, there are people that are going to get early copies, but nothing. It's 2 weeks. We're 2 weeks away. So I think we should, and I say we, I'm talking to the community. I'm just here to tell you, if there was something in regards to online multiplayer to answer that, the questions you have, they would have said something by now. If they're not answering, it's because it's not in the game, or it's not something that, they can give you an answer. So I would always assume the answer is no. For instance, some people are still wondering, are there caution replays? I'm going to tell you, I would assume no. Because if there was, they would have told us by now. They don't have a lot to show us. So they're just like, hey, pre-order, pre-order. I get it. I know it's the first game. I'm rooting for these guys. I think, like I said, I like a lot of what I've seen. But have we seen enough gameplay or AI or the AI in action? No. That's the truth. We haven't seen much. So I don't blame people who are thinking, why are they afraid to show us more? All they're doing is telling us pre-order, pre-order. They haven't shown us much. It's nice that we saw some of the paint booth today. I'm not worried about the paint booth. I'm glad it's there. It was important for them to put it in the game. And I said from the start, I know there's a lot of people out there that don't care about the paint booth. But you have to understand that customization is a vital part of video games in general. And then NASCAR games, we've sat around for 5 years with really not a fully fleshed out paint booth, and the customization we got from 704 was very bare bones, and it wasn't going to cut it. And these guys, they made sure we're going to get it done first game. I have to give them credit for that. The game looks great visually, but for me and for most people, I think it all comes down to we really haven't seen enough gameplay, and it doesn't sound to me like there's any plans to reveal anything else. We're just 2 weeks away. So the only hope we have really is if somebody in the community gets early copies and is able to show off some stuff. In the event that somebody like a Jeff Favignano or a Real Radman or anybody gets early copies and is able to show some gameplay, I'm going to make one quick request, and I know a lot of you are probably not going to like this, but I think that, let's just say I had an early copy and I was going to show some stuff. I would not show anybody anything in regards to the presentation. The off-track stuff, pit road, pre-race, post-race, I would leave that out. I wouldn't show it to anybody, and I know people want to see that stuff, but I think it's one of the few things in a game that we know isn't going to be very deep that I think would be best experienced when you play the game. And not, you don't want to see that stuff and then already know how it is and what it's like. It takes away some of that impact of when you're playing and you see it for the first time. Some of my fondest memories of like the Thunder series was the pre-race and the countdown and going down the lineup and listening to the announcers talk. Those are the things I remember, and it's those details that I wouldn't want to spoil for anybody. So, in the event that somebody does get an early copy, it's just a suggestion, right? What I would do is just focus on showing some gameplay, showing maybe a green flag run, maybe a pit cycle where you could see the AI, the pit logic and how everything goes through a green flag pit stop. And show like maybe a road course, a short track, a mile and a half, and just a couple different tracks. That's the stuff I would focus on showing and maybe giving my opinion on how it feels. I wouldn't really show presentation. It's one of the few things that I think could possibly elevate the experience for people when they play it themselves. That's just my opinion. And if I had an early copy, I would not show the presentation. I wouldn't even talk about it. I would just say that's something you should experience when you play the game yourself. And I think that actually is a better way to experience it. I don't want to spoil it. But it doesn't look like we're going to get early footage from anybody. Maybe there's going to be people who get their hands on an early copy and just upload, video clips. That always happens with a lot of games. But I don't know, man. I'm a bit disappointed that we haven't been shown more. I'm getting the game. I'm not like, oh my God, maybe I don't want to get the game. I've seen enough that I'm buying the game. I've already pre-ordered it. But I do suggest, if you have not pre-ordered it, to hold off. Wait to see several people, what give you their thoughts on the game when it comes out. We waited this long. You can wait a bit longer. It's not the end of the world. And pre-ordering is just something that is totally unnecessary. Most people buy these games and download them digitally anyway. How many people still go to GameStop and stand on a line? So those days are pretty much over. There's no reason to pre-order stuff. And I just think it's silly. I did pre-order this because my mind is already made up. I'm getting the game. So for me, it doesn't matter. But if you're somebody who's on the fence and it's like, I don't know if I should or shouldn't, hold off. It's not gonna be the end of the world if you wait a week after it's released and see what everyone thinks about it. People are gonna upload all kinds of stuff. I'm not gonna review the game until at least maybe 2 weeks because I want to put time into it. I don't want to rush play the game for 2 or 3 days and then do a review. I don't think it's fair, and I don't, there are things I may not experience in 2 or 3 days that might show themselves later. So those are my thoughts.